Rest in peace, Big George Foreman. Yeah, man. Rest in peace. News in, people. George Foreman has passed away. If you didn't know, I'm just finding out myself, to be honest. So, let's have to play this one by ear. And a bit of a shocker. So I'm still reacting to it. Still trying to process it. Still trying to process it, people. Still trying to process this. Still trying to process this news. What would be a good idea is to double up the laptop as well while I'm doing this, I guess. Might be a good idea. Pick the laptop up as well. Right. Okay, people. Yeah, man. Just processing this still. I'm just processing. I'm just it's a bit I don't know what to say. Don't even know what to say. Don't even know what to say. I haven't got a clue what to say. Hit the like button, people, just for Big George. Make sure you hit the like. Hit the like if you can. Right. Hit the like, hit the like, hit the like. Right. Just on the laptop as well, so using the laptop and the PC right now. Get the camera back here. Right. Right. Sorry, people. I'm just getting in my stride because I just heard it just literally minutes ago. I'm just waiting for everything to. Right. Let's see what we can find out, people. Let's see what we can find out. Right. Okay. George Foreman. Right. 76 years of age. The internet is still processing it. I'm guessing there's not much. There's something on Reddit. Right. There's not much information. 76 years of age. So I'm still waiting. So we've got TMZ. Right. Big George. Your man, Big George. Big George Foreman. Right. Let me see what's going on there. Right. Two-time world champion. An Olympian. He won gold. Did he win in Japan? I think Frazier was Tokyo. Ali was Rome. Ali won 1960 in Rome. Foreman won 64. No, Foreman won 68. Frazier won Frazier won 64. Foreman won 68. Wow. So I'm trying to find out. Right now, there's no cause. It's not really important. You know what I mean? Devout preacher. His family continued. We are grateful for outpouring of love and prayers and kindly ask for privacy as we honor the extraordinary life of a man we are blessed to call our own. I guess when you're looking at a colossus of a man like that, you feel that death would have a hard job taking him out, but even Big George has to succumb when God calls. You know what I mean? Even Big George. Even Big George, people. Even Big George. None of us too big for when God calls. None of us. None of us too big. Right. None of us too big, people. It is what it is. Dead at 76. No cause. Wow. I think everyone's just still processing, innit? It's just like you just got to reflect, innit? You just reflect. The great battles. I don't think nobody will repeat his feats. Oldest heavyweight champion. How old was he? 44, 45? When he knocked out Michael Mora. And let's not forget, 1974, Royal Rumble. Rumble in the Jungle. Not the Royal Rumble, the Rumble in the Jungle. Muhammad Ali. It's weird. Someone pointed out that Don King outlived Ali and Foreman. He promoted both Rumble in the Jungle and the Thriller in Manila. Two of the greatest iconic moments of the sport. Yeah. George Foreman, man. I mean, you're talking about when we're talking about when we were kings, we're talking about Ali, rest in peace. Joe Frazier, rest in peace. Ken Norton, rest in peace. And even the people who weren't in the film, you know, like Ron Lau, rest in peace. You name them. Jimmy Young, rest in peace. The whole of that era. I think the only one who's still remaining, if you like, is George Chuvalo. Now that's one tough and George Foreman, I believe Foreman has him on his resume. Wow, man. Big up yourself, Mr. Foreman. You know what I mean? I call you Mr. Foreman today. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Foreman. Wow. From Texas. I'll never forget that story he told. I'm going to try and tell it without messing it up. He was sleeping when he was a teenager. And I believe he was sleeping in the day. And nothing was really going on for him right then. And I think it was his sister, like, may have woke him up, or he woke up like, oh man, I didn't mean to be sleeping. And she said, just go back to sleep. No one amounts to nothing around here anyway. I was like, wow, that was really like, wow, powerful, hard statement. That was a hard statement, very hard statement. No one amounts to nothing around here anyway. Hard statement. But where was he from? Was he Fifth Ward? Hard areas, wherever. I don't know if he was Fifth Ward or one of them wards in Texas, man. Not many left, man. Not many left. Not many left. Not many of the greats left from that era. That's arguably like one of the greatest eras, like when that was recorded consistently. Yeah, George, one of the few people to stop George Chuvalo, man. Chuvalo's still going, man. Chuvalo's still going. Checking in soon, man. It says 76. 76, man. It's 76. Not 71. 76. Big George is 76, man. George is just like, I don't know what to say, man. I just like, I'm just like, because when I'm thinking about George Foreman, I'm just thinking about my parents. My parents, there's a lot of stiff stuff that runs through your mind. Like as a 50, 7-year-old black man. I'm just thinking of like the civil rights over there. The impact he had, like it's just wow, man. You're talking about one of the most recognizable athletes. Not forget boxer, right? Because George transcends that, bruh. He transcends that. One of the most recognizable athletes or just human beings, just on a level. Wow. There he is training with Muhammad Ali in a little pic. Let me just hit the like button if you can, people. It's all good. It's all good. I'm gonna get to you guys in a sec. Trust me on that. Just you gotta give me a little time to process. What was the film he was in with Sydney? Not the Sydney with Bill Cosby. What was the film? Was he in I'm Gonna Get You Sucker? He was in one of them films there. He was definitely in one of them films. All right. I'm getting to you guys right now, literally. Right. Let me just widen the chat. Yes, people. Let's see what you got to say. No one better diss George, you know. You know what I mean? No one better diss George. Be respectful. Be respectful now. You know what I mean? This ain't the time for the trolling crap. Yeah? This ain't the time. This ain't the time. All right, where's the hangout? All right, there it is. There it is. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. I know I got it. I know I got it, man. Yeah. All right. So, wow. A lot of people. Norman Photos. That's a big one. Yes, indeed. Nothing but the truth. Very sad. Godspeed, Big George. Yep. Don't say that. What the F says no. Unfortunately, man. Kane Mack. R.I.P. Big George. G Stacks. Damn. Yes. Objective Incision. One of the few role models who proved that there is life after boxing. That's not related to boxing. I tell you what. You see that George Foreman grill is like one of the biggest like products on the market. Like he made more money from that than he did boxing, man. Like he just sold the crap out of that, man. Virtuoso, heartbreaking. Everyone loved Big George, man. You know what I mean? Peter Montgomery. Yep, gutted, gutted. Like, you know, I'm gonna be do well not to sweat. Because the man was a godly man, he was a devout preacher. I don't want to curse on this one. I'm not gonna swear with my foul, potty mouth. I'm not gonna do that. To show respect. Ryan Waterson. Damn. Big George is gone, yes. Michael Schiller. Just seen this. R.I.P. Big Dog. Devastating. Peace from Inverness. Big yourself up. Scotland in the house. Muhammad, I knew he was old, but I didn't see this coming. He always looked healthy. R.I.P. Big George. I see him smashing the bag the other day. He looked like he could have knocked out a few of the guys' throwing punches today. Yeah, that's it, Virtuoso. Mexico 68 was George's time. He won the Olympics, man. Yeah, I tell you what, right? Yeah, you got that right. 1968. Indeed. Oh, man, this thing is so slow. Right. Might help if I... It's not that it's slow. I'm not the one who's slow. In fact, when George won the Olympics in 1968, there was a little controversy because Tommy Smith and John Carlos, two African American track athletes, they done the Black Power, Black Glove Fist salute on the podium. And that was a very activist-minded Olympics. Like I said, like the civil rights, all these things tie in. And George got a little flack because he waved the flag when he won. He waved the flag. But he said all he could think about was his country. And he didn't do it to like whatever, you know what I mean? He said he won the Olympics and he's American and he is American, you know what I mean? He's American, but I think there was a place for both Tommy Smith and John Carlos, you know? And even the white Australian on the podium, he supported the two brothers. There was a lot of injustice. You know what I mean? George done what he had to do, man. BG London says, R.I.P. Big George. Right, it's going to be a struggle to get to everyone. There's a lot of comments here, man. I know Blood Boxing in there. Said his dad is same age as Foreman. Big up Blood. Said my dad's going to be really sad tonight when yeah, it's gonna affect him. Right? It's definitely going to affect him, Blood. You know what I mean? Because I can imagine, like, if your dad would be very connected, like, just like my dad. You know what I'm saying? If he's gone now, but I don't think like I don't want to speak for African Americans. I can't, but I can give you testimony. Like when people like Joe Louis used to defend his title, and I'd say in particular the African American community, when I used to listen to his fights on the radio, and then Joe Louis, reigned for 11 years, 25 defenses. So they were used to Joe winning. Joe was on a winning team, and when he won, the celebrations they like all throughout cities like Detroit, yeah. And it would have been the same with George, same with Ali. Like a lot of, I don't want to say blacks because he represented more than that, but they drew a lot from George Foreman and their athletes. They drew a lot, yeah. Because 1968, yeah, it wasn't just Tommy Lee and John Carlos. There was a lot of athletes in the Olympic Village, a lot of black athletes who were planning protests, and like Jesse Owens, before they went out to Mexico, he warned a lot of them out, don't you do that now, be good people and all that. And they ran Jesse's ass out. They told Jesse, yo, Jesse, you need to stay out of this. You know what I mean? So, it's a sad time. It is a sad time. It is sad because, like, George, like, he kind of carried on from Ali when he came back, didn't he? Like, you know, because Ali was incapacitated. And, like, George was one of the characters. When he made that comeback in boxing, he was one. There weren't much characters, really. There weren't that much going on. George came back, like, larger than life character. Yeah. The boxing kangaroo. Over 100 million George Foreman grills sold worldwide. Let that sink in, people. Yeah. The grill was off the chisane, bruh. Was off the chisane. Wow. Leroy, he says, best boxer from the deep south. RIP from Louisiana. Big up. Whew. Wow. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think Chavallo is left. Let's just go through the resume of BoxRec. And it's just Chavallo was one of the first big names, recognizable names on his record. You've got Chuck Wepner, 1969, TK on him in 3. There's Bob Hazelton. Stop Bob Hazelton. Like, Bob Hazelton is one of the first PED cheats. Yeah. Wow. There's Gregorio Peralta. He took him to 10. Yeah. He's one of the few people who took him to 10 in 1970. There's George Chavallo. He was still George Chavallo was still on his feet though. Wow. Okay, TKO George Peralta in 10, and it's in 10. That was a scheduled 15 for the Pan American heavyweight title. Wow, 1971. That Peralta was tough, yeah? A tough dude. A tough head on your judge. Gregorio, your head tough. Take them lick that. Stand up for 10 rounds 2 times. Tough head, man. Wow. Leroy Caldwell, yeah? I think Larry Holmes beat Leroy Caldwell, didn't he? Then Joe Frazier, Kingston, Jamaica. Down goes Frazier. He ran him over like a Mack truck, didn't he? That was like crazy, that was, man. Ran Frazier over, man. Uppercuts, man. Lifted him off the floor with one of them uppercuts, man. Heavyweight champion. 2 rounds. Devastating. Then there was the first defense against the Mexican, Jose Roman, who I believe spat at Foreman. I mean, big mistake, bro. Big. Like, I think that's one of the few times I see Foreman fighting angry. He knocked him out in a round. Destroyed him. And then Ken Norton, he wiped. Imagine that. You look at that, man. wiped out Norton in two, man. In Caracas, Venezuela, I believe. Yeah, yeah. Wiped him out. I think a left hook finished it, innit? Wow. But he couldn't get past Ali, man. That rumble in the jungle was crazy, man. That was just crazy. That was on another level, that fight, man. The rope-a-dope. The rope-a-dope, people. The rope-a-dope. Ali used the rope-a-dope. Wow. What an event that was, eh? What an event that was. He was 40-0, you know. He was 40-0 when he fought Ali. Whew. I mean, we don't want to turn it into the Ali show, but Ali was just flipping. The boxing royalty, innit? These guys are boxing royalty. That era there, man. They're just royalty. The Ron Lyle fight, we'll never forget that. Ring Magazine Fight of the Year. We'll never forget that. That was after the that was let's say a year, over a year, because he took 75 off. It was a year. That fight was crazy, man. Wow. NABF title, man. Foreman rocked by an overhand right in the first round. Lyle was hurt in the second round. The round was only 2 minutes long. Lyle knocked Foreman down early in the fourth round. Foreman got up and dropped Lyle, who came back and floored Foreman again at the end of the round. After being hurt early in the fifth round, Foreman backed Lyle into a corner and put him down for a count with a barrage of punches. Yeah, what a fight that is, man. That's just archived. You know what I mean? If you're going to talk about heavyweight boxing in any kind of serious discussion, are you going to mention that fight there, sir? Nah. Yeah, it has to be in the discussion. Has to be in there. Has to be in there. That's what you call a slugfest, bro. Ron Lyle's so underrated, man. So underrated. So underrated. What a fight that was, man. What a fight that was. Yeah, unfortunately, blood. Yeah, it is so. Yeah. JOAO2 says, last I heard, we heard about that. Said, death waits for no man, even for a man strong in every sense as Big George. Guzzy, we're here for a short time, not a long time. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Daniel Cole, one of my all-time favorite fighters. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Big up Bruce Gass. I'm only going to keep going for an hour. I do have to go bed. If anyone wants to pay their respects, there's a link there. You know what I mean? Do not put your camera on, or I will be forced to boot you out. Do not put your camera on. Just keep your camera off and pay your respects to the legend. It's all good. Wow. Big George, man. Big George passed away, man. Whew. Is there any more details? Not much details, man. Like, it's a slow news cycle, this one. NBC News, they've got hold of it.
Beats, what's happening?
What's up, Bruce?
What's up, bro?
What's happening, bro?
Oh, man.
Yo, man. Yeah.
My wife, I wasn't even watching boxing, and I was watching something else, and my wife came out and said she just heard George Foreman died, and I said, what? So I fucking went right on YouTube, and I saw it, man. I'm like, wow. And I just started surfing around, and I saw a bunch of people talking about it, and, I saw you, Beats, you're like my generation, bro. And, man, this is like, whew, I'm at a loss for words, bro. I've been hit by a hot punch, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me ages to even get a few words out at the start. You know what I mean?
Oh.
It took me ages to get a few words out. Mr. Doc, what's up?
Stunned. I like I said in the chat section, maybe I missed it, but I hadn't heard anything about him, being sick or, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. It kind of seemed, for me anyways, just kind of come out of nowhere.
That's what it felt like to me. Because you see with Ali, we knew he had the Parkinson's from the 80s, and we saw the deterioration slowly, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Even though that was like, oh man, he's gone, it was kind of like, okay, I can see a path to where, like, we would hear this. But George, it just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. Like even like Leon a while back, like he'd been sick for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Salute.
What? I mean, do they have the? I hate to be morbid. Do they have the cause of death even yet, or?
I haven't heard a cause of death yet. I haven't heard anything about.
I read on his Insta. Salute, fellas. Salute, Bruce. Salute, Beats. Salute, Mr.
So, hey, salute, Carl.
Yeah. Look, I heard the news on his Instagram, bro, about an hour ago. Not even an hour ago. And his family members, someone posted on there that he passed away peacefully. I'm not sure of the circumstance or what, but man, what a sad day in boxing. We've lost, one of the GOATs, man. Like, and like you said, Beats, he transcended boxing, bro. Like, he's an entrepreneur expert. Like, that dude sold 100 million grills worldwide. They're still selling here in Australia, bro. There's that many varieties of the George Foreman grill that, the guy transcended boxing, and he made money outside of boxing, and just an absolute bloody gentleman of the sport, in my opinion. And I think we lost one of the GOATs, man, and fucking sad news. Pardon my French.
And like his record, like, will anyone win a world title? Let's say at 20, like, win one world title, and in 20 years win another one. In like that's
unfathomable.
Crazy.
But not only that, Beats. Take 10 years off. Take 10 years off boxing.
Oh yeah, see, that's the other thing. It's not just 20 years. 20 years, and for the, like Carl said, the first 10, you're out of the game.
You come back from me, right? Sorry to interrupt, guys. Yeah, a lot of people think winning makes you great, and it don't. It doesn't. You know when I knew he was great? When he took that 10-punch combination from Evander Holyfield and didn't go down. I said, whoa. That's when I knew. Do you remember that? Do you remember when Holyfield put them punches together?
Oh,
insane. Yeah, it was insane. And George barely budged.
He didn't go down. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, man.
You know, not only did he have a granite chin, but man, he hit like a Mack truck.
I tell you
Like,
what, man. You know, I tell you, like, when he knocked out Jerry Cooney, right?
Oh, I was just
I
thinking.
remember I must have rewound that tape like the whole flipping evening, just rewinding this uppercut, the right uppercut, just rewinding it, just rewind. Like, that was just like the most lethal shit, because I can't swear. I swear, I'm a preacher business today. I'm not swear. That was lethal. He just walked in, right uppercut. And like, you know what it was? He was very accurate. If you look at the punches he hit Jerry with before he knocked Jerry down, because Jerry like hit George George said, "Yo, I got to get rid of him because he's a puncher. So you got to get him out of there. You can't let Jerry stand around. Could punch. Larry Holmes will tell you Jerry could punch. Like the punches that he put together to deck Jerry, and then that right uppercut, he just walked in, bam. Wow.
Disposed of him, man. It was a disposal beats the way he did Cooney.
Yeah. I remember when he hit Pierre Coetza. I thought he killed him, bro. I remember watching. I said, "Whoa, what was that?" I thought he died, you know. But he was tough though. He was tough.
I love the Michael Moorer fight, bro, where he knocked him out in the 10th, and you know the dude had, what was he, 35-0 or something, and I just think that's what legends are made of, in my opinion, man. To come back and claim another world title, absolutely brilliant. Damn, we lost a good one, fellas. We lost a real
great one, yeah.
And again, a good
like
guy.
B. London
Like
said,
you said,
like, he had brutal knockouts. Sonny Liston apprentice. Yes, indeed. Yeah, that's who he studied.
Sparred? Yeah, he sparred. He was a sparring partner for Sonny, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Country. That's good.
Yes, sir. Oh man, I'm devastated, bro. That George was one of my all-time favorite fighters. A lot of memorable fights. I mean, when he took on 5 people in one night, the Lyle fight definitely. You know, the Moore fight for me was such an inspiration. I had to sit in a room full of all my friends, and they were all sitting there talking crap and making fun of George. And I told them in the beginning, George is going to win this fight. And they laughed at me. They were talking all kinds of trash to me and making fun of me and shit. 10th round came, boom, done,
bam.
out. Everybody was in shock. And I was sitting there going, I told you, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, to me, I mean, I watched George since I was a little kid in the 70s, man. I loved him, Ali, and Frazier, but I always, like, for some reason, I always gravitated to George, man. He was just such, and I mean, he may not have been the most skilled boxer, but man, he was a phenom.
And
And
no. He was very skilled. No. He was very skilled.
right, but I mean, in comparison to like maybe Ali and like stuff like that is what I meant. I guess I wasn't clear.
I have to say this. He was just as in a different way. He was just as skilled. Like
all right, I agree.
I tell you what, yeah. I was watching a film study on George, and if you watch and the nuances, right? Prime, he had very good footwork. You can't just get knockouts by brute force in boxing at that level.
That's true.
You can't.
You know what?
George had very good footwork, very good jab.
Yeah, he had a great jab, and Sonny Liston trained him, and he was the only one who could handle Big George. I remember a documentary where I think even George might have said that, and I'm not surprised that he was like Liston in that aspect, man. I mean, George was just, it's heartbreaking that we lost him. I mean, like I said, George was one of my favorite fighters. I'm sad because I always wanted to meet him and I never got the chance to do it. But I hope he went to the Lord, and I hope that he made the transition. I'm glad he made the transition peacefully, man.
That cross arm defense was very effective, man.
Well, he used the cross arm, and then the other one he would use when he didn't use the cross arm, he would use both hands and push people in their shoulders to offset them so they couldn't set with their punches.
That's
when
what
they
he
were
done
trying
to
to
Joe
hit.
Frazier. That's what he done to Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
68 knockouts. 68 knockouts out of 81
Wow.
bouts, man.
More
I
60,
mean,
knockouts.
look, them
60,
heavyweights like 68 knockouts.
68 knockouts.
How much did Ernie
Six,
have? Ernie had 71, isn't it, or something?
man, 68 knockouts. That most dudes don't even have that. They won't even have half of that in fight total, let alone that just in their
Ernie Shavers
knockout
had
reel.
71. I think Ernie had 71. George had 68. Imagine if them two had fought, boy. Flip it now. I would have
68
hit behind
Foreman,
the
knockouts.
sofa. If
Foreman,
81
any,
bouts.
Foreman,
if
Foreman
anybody
also
had,
had the ability. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
if they dared to match Ernie Shavers and Foreman, I would have hid behind the sofa. Cause I wouldn't want to get hit by anything.
I know, right?
You know
And
what
I
I mean?
remember Big George going, "Oh, thank God I didn't fight. I didn't have to fight him."
Wow.
They're probably
You
both.
you know what though?
They're probably both thankful they didn't fight each other.
I got it
You
wrong.
know what? You know what though? Foreman had the ability to come back from adversity because that punch from Ron Lyle and he fell on his face. Most boxers would not have gotten up for that.
Oh,
When you fall on your face
country.
in boxing,
He falls face first, ass up, and he leaves. As you when he gets up, there's a splotch of blood in the middle of the ring where his face was. If you go
right?
back and watch the footage, I swear to
Yeah.
God, just like straight out of that scene in Bloodsport where the guy's washing the mat and he picks up the guy's tooth. It was like that. Leaves a splotch in the middle of the ring and staggers back to his corner at the end of the round.
Yeah, like I said, Foreman was always an inspiration to me, though, man, in a lot of ways, and and especially when he made his comeback. I mean, he wasn't perfect, but damn, he got that belt. He got his belt back, and it was wonderful. I was so happy for him.
30.
And
Michael
he
Moore,
called the shot.
Michael Moore was 35-0. A 35-0 guy got knocked out in the 10th round by Big George Foreman. Man, we won't see that type of stuff happen again, fellas. Like, you know what I mean? Like we ask too much of these boxers today because they couldn't hold a candle to these fighters of the
No, they
bygone
can't.
eras.
They
No,
just
No,
they
amazing about George though, man. George had
they can't
two
even
careers.
dream. They can't even dream of trying to be so great. They can't even fathom of taking someone's chances to be great. They can't even. They can't do it.
George had two careers, and in his first career, people despised George Foreman. Man, he was the bad guy. Even like I couldn't stand Joe Frazier because Joe beat Ali, but then all of a sudden George comes on and George destroys Joe Frazier. But everybody, even though they hated Frazier, they hated George even more. It wasn't like, an enemy of my enemy is my friend. Throw that out the fucking window. And then, when he went on that rampage after he got beat by Ali, the second Frazier fight, Scott Ledoux, even fought my homeboy from Providence, John Dino Dennis. He was still destroying people,
John
but
Dino
nobody liked him, man. Nobody liked him. And
I did.
Bruce, he came after his 10-year layoff. He came back and he knocked out 18 straight.
yeah, man. I mean, he was a
18
killer,
straight.
but nobody, the
Unbelievable.
fans weren't behind him though, bro. But then when he came
Yeah.
back, he's this big fat Michelin man. He's fighting on ESPN on Thursday night against fucking Steve Zalski, and it's like, who the fuck is this? And I'm telling people this is George. And they say, no, that's not George Foreman. I say, yeah, this is George Foreman. No. And I'm in a bar and I'm fucking telling these guys, yes, man, he's make it. No, George Foreman doesn't fight anymore. I'm saying that fat bald guy is George Foreman. And then as the months went on, people loved the guy. He came on with platters of cheeseburgers. He says, all my opponents, they're busting his balls about his opponents. And he says, hey, he had a pulse, didn't he? And I mean, George is playing the game. Everybody fucking loved him, man.
You know what was really iconic though? The night he fought Michael Moore and knocked him out, he wore the same trunks that he wore when he fought Ali.
Yep.
That's right.
That
He
to
did
me
too.
was iconic as hell.
Yeah. He
Man.
called his shot. He called it like beforehand. He said, "I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to knock him out." He told what's his name, Lampley. He said, "You just watch. Eventually, at some point in the fight, he's going to stand in front of me, and I'm going to get him."
Yep. I watched that documentary, and Lampley was like, "Wow!" Like nobody thought he could do it. They all were laughing, and for me, I always knew he could do it. I always did, and You know, again, like I said, he wasn't perfect, but I always knew he could win his title back, and a lot of people didn't believe it. And boy, did he shut a lot of people up. I mean, just watching the crowd that night go nuts right after the minute he knocked Moore out, and the whole entire crowd just went nuts. And I was going nuts, and
Oh yeah,
my
everybody
friend
was
played.
hurt. I was at my buddy's house, and me and his dad and my friend, we all like lost it. We were like, "Oh, holy shit!"
Oh, I was feeling sorry for him. He was catching a beating.
But you
You
know
know?
what?
Yeah.
He took it though. He took it well.
Whoa. Oh, fucking right. He took it well. Even against Holyfield, he took that well too. I mean, he showed that he had a chin of granite. Where in his first career, he
You
was
know
getting,
what? Holyfield said that Big George punched him so hard in his mouth that he thought his mouth went numb, and he
yeah,
thought that Big George knocked his teeth out.
yeah. When he went back, when he went back to his corner, he told Lou Duva, "My teeth are in my mouthpiece," and Lou said, "No, no, they're not. They're in your mouth."
Yeah. I mean,
Oh
like
man.
Holyfield played it safe in the late rounds. I remember that fight. Like he held on, tied up, moved. He didn't want to get hit with nothing, man.
I got to talk to his brother Roy. I did an interview with him when I first started doing YouTube, and man, I mean, he told me so many cool stories about George. The Alex Stewart fight. You know when George's face looked like a smashed pumpkin after the fight.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, he had to wear shades. You have to wear
Yeah, yeah,
shades.
yeah. No, so I mentioned it, and he says, "Oh," he said, "Let me tell you about that fight." He says, "After the fight was over, I went into Alex's dressing room, and I found his hand wraps in the trash, and they were hard as rocks." He said, "I brought him back to my dressing room, and he put plaster of Paris in his gloves and the water, and so he had loaded gloves. I mean, he actually was fucking hitting George with freaking sledgehammers,
Oh,
literally."
you're joking.
No, I'm not joking, man. But then I said, why didn't you do something about it? Because the fight was over, and it just wasn't we just said fuck it, man. George won the fight, and they didn't want to create an incident. But I mean, it was like you go back and listen to that interview beats. You
Yeah.
can go up the page and just the Roy Foreman. It was a couple of years ago, and I mean, he gets into some heavy duty details. I'd love to, I try to call him now, but the phone's this different phone and everything else, and tough guy to get a hold of. But I'd love to talk to him now. I mean, now it would be I mean, not even
Yep.
thoughtable. Maybe in a month or something like that.
We
Nice.
truly lost the legend, man. We did.
Yeah. So,
And,
yep.
and like Pete said, bro, he transcended boxing. He was an entrepreneur. Like, that guy just outside of the ring, man, he just, like he did well. He did well for himself, man. And the absolute wars that guy was in, man, to still have all his faculty and, I don't know, man. Like, we definitely won't see that again in my era, man. And I don't think we'll see it again in
Let's
boxing.
not forget. Also, speaking of outside of the ring, his transformation as a person.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
he reinvented himself big time, man. And like the Meineke commercials, he was hilarious in those, man. You know, and you're right with the Foreman grills, man. Boy, did that take off. Yeah.
Oh,
100 million sales worldwide, bro. 100 million. Try selling 1 million of anything worldwide, bro.
I
Let
went
alone
through
100 million.
suckers.
And there's so many varieties. They're still selling them now. I just looked them up before. They're still selling them in Target, Kmart. You can still buy them.
Yeah.
I haven't used mine in 10 years, man, at least.
I'll be pulling mine out, bro. Don't worry about that.
Wow.
Oh man, we lost one of the goats, man.
Yeah, this
terrible.
one was a punch to the gut, man. It was a big punch
proper.
to the gut.
Yep.
George Foreman punched to the gut.
It should be a celebration, really, because, like,
Yeah.
like you say, it's an all-time great, and we're celebrating it in real time, man. You know what I'm saying? So
We got to find out what happened, though. 76, that's not old. Not in this day and age.
Well, that's average though. Most, that's kind of an average age sometimes to
Yeah, yeah.
here's the thing, though, right? When you look at it, though, right? I mean,
Makes me
he's
feel
like one of the most feared boxers. I've never heard him say. You ever heard him say a curse word?
No.
Nah.
I don't think I ever heard him swear once. Never. I'm sure he has, but
Not even in the 70s when he was, Sonny
yeah.
Liston 2.0.
See, but even back then, like all the tough, you ever hear Sonny Liston curse? And he was mob affiliate. Liston was putting policemen in trash cans, bro. They didn't
But
swear. They didn't swear. They didn't act up. They didn't. Oh yeah, I'm from the ends or whatever. They didn't do none of that, bro. They didn't used to do that.
You know what was funny? Richard Pryor did a little comedy bit about George Foreman, and he was imitating him, and he's all, "Which one's the referee? I'm gonna kill the other motherfucker." That fit his persona when he was younger, man. I mean, he would just kill people. He'd go in there and just blast people, man. It was like, damn.
68 knockouts. 68 knockouts, man. Unbelievable. And you're right, Beats. We are celebrating, man, but it's such a shock, man. It's such a shock that
it is a shock.
Yeah. You deal, you feel, then you heal.
Yeah, that's it, Bruce. Exactly, man. I got to tell you, man, when I read it on Instagram, but I didn't believe it when I first heard it. I went and looked it up myself. I found it, and I saw his official page with his family, a family photo, and I just thought, man, I had goosebumps all over me. I'm like, no way in the world. We've lost the absolute go to the sport. Someone that'll never be replaced. Someone that'll go down in history as one of the GOATs, man. And I tell you, it's a sad day in boxing, man. And we can celebrate his life, but oh man, I'm just in total shock. For that guy to not only how he reinvented himself, but his 10-year layoff, like everything that guy did, man. He was just, he just
epitomized. He only came back, bro. He only came back to put a roof on his fucking church. He was broke. The congregation was broke. And then, as the more he did it, he's like, man, I can get a little further and further in here. These guys are nothing. And man,
you know what I like? Even when he retired against Shannon Briggs, he probably could have got the decision. He bowed out it might have been a losing fight, but it was a really good fight. And he fought a credible opponent. How old was he then? He must be near 50 or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was for the lineal heavyweight championship. That was.
Yeah, wasn't Shannon Briggs one of the most prolific knockout guys at the time?
Yeah, Shannon. I think he might hold a record for 1-round KOs, at least at heavyweight.
Yeah, that old body definitely took some banging in its day, man. I mean, he you can see where he
was 48. He was 48 when he fought Shannon Briggs.
48. Wow.
That's insane. That's insane.
The only one who kind of equaled that a little bit was Archie Moore, but he wasn't a heavyweight.
Wow.
Oh,
Archie used to train him.
Yeah, I remember seeing him in his corner on TV in the past. I remember that long time ago.
What's my man's name?
Before Dick Sadler, it was Archie Moore. Archie Moore used to train him.
They were both in the corner at one point. Sadler.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. You're actually right.
And wasn't Sadler himself a puncher back when he fought?
Are you thinking of Sandy Sadler? No,
they're not the same guy.
No, you're the Dick Sadler.
I thought Sandy. I thought Sandy was like the nickname.
Yeah.
I thought Sandy was like the nickname. Okay, my bad.
One thing I love about George was that as a heavyweight, he epitomized, in my opinion, what a heavyweight had to do. You had to have a good chin, and you had to have cement in your hands. And that dude had both of those in spades. Like that dude, he'd hit like a truck, and he got stopped once in his career. In 81 bouts, 81 bouts, he was stopped once.
You know what I would say about George as a boxer? He is the prototype, like heavyweight. What you would want to see out of it? Good, strong, stiff jab, hard puncher, like you say, good chin. You know what I mean? George
100%. 100%.
George Foreman. Always look for a knockout. George didn't go in there to tap dance. George always looked for and he wasn't swinging wild normally, but George was looking for knockouts to take you out.
68 of them.
Yeah.
Never evident than the loss to Jimmy Young. That was a great fight too, man. I love Jimmy Young, well, but man, that was such an upset.
Yeah,
was like
Jimmy Young. That was in Puerto Rico, right? Jimmy Young was he was so crafty, man.
Jimmy actually knocked him down. One of the
yeah. He slipped George's shit, and then he caught George. Put him down.
Yeah.
And also, I think even more impressive from that fight is because I think it's the 7th round. Yeah, George gets Jimmy on the hook like in the first minute, like he's like staggered into the ropes and everything. And somehow Jimmy not only survives, but at the end of the round, he's putting it on George.
Yeah. I made money on that fight. I was in a bar.
Nice
people, everybody thought George was going to kill him. I thought so too, but as the fight went on, everybody drinking and shooting pool. And I said, oh, no, this Jimmy Young is going to beat George Foreman. No fucking way. How much? Boom, boom. I think I maybe $50 or something like that. But it was sweet money because I got it from assholes. I remember, it's not the money you get. That's the value.
I remember seeing this meme with George Foreman, and it said, "Sure, the fight was fixed. I fixed it with a right hand," and it had him with holding up his right hand.
That Jimmy Young, man. I always remember hearing about him getting beaten by Jerry Cooney. So I was like, oh, Cooney crushed him. And when I watched the fight, bro, and actually, he was giving like Cooney. He was going. He wasn't beating Cooney, but he was going toe to toe. And like he was slipping some Cooney stuff. Like he was that Jimmy Young underrated.
Like you said,
Philly skills, bro.
And how this all connects is like you said, Beats. It's not just winning that makes you great.
Yeah, that's right.
Jimmy Young died broke. He was watching Leon Spinks beat Muhammad Ali on CBS Sports, doing lines of coke in Philadelphia, and he was evicted the next day. It was a real sad story. But Jimmy Young, man, fucking.
He was crushed by it was the sequence of fight when he lost the split decision to Norton. And then the Ocasio fight.
Yep, all those fights, man.
Yeah.
And that Norton fight was a close fight. That's another one nobody talks about. That was
I think that's a brilliant fight.
I've never watched the whole of that, and I've still got to get around to watching the whole of it.
I've watched it several times, and I think Norton won the fight. Close, but I thought Norton pulled it out in the later rounds. But it's a 15-round heavyweight fight, entertaining.
I remember being told that Norton was probably the only fighter who could effectively counter Jimmy and his craftiness. That's what I mean. So I do need to see it for myself.
It's a great one. It's a pick 'em fight.
Yeah.
Bruce thinks Norton won. I think Jimmy Young won, but I ain't got no beef with anybody. You know what I mean? That sees it either which way, because it was that kind of a fight, man. Like nip and tuck, quite tight rounds. Both guys, you know what I mean, making all kinds of adjustments. It's just very, very interesting. Very interesting.
Wow. Yeah, man. We all gotta go. We all gotta go.
That's it, bro.
Yeah.
Yep.
It still doesn't make it any easier, but does it? Man, you think these guys are immortal.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking, I think, like I said, Chuvalo is still going, but from that era there,
he's like in a nursing home. He's got CTE so bad he can't communicate. Last I've heard, he's like.
Oh man, that's.
Wow.
Because he was like amazingly, especially for the way he fought. He stayed amazingly sharp for a long time.
He's like 90 something, man.
Okay. So, I mean, what was that guy?
You know something, right? Yeah. You know something. I know he's got CTE. Everyone's going to say, yeah, that's from the pugilism. He's family life is a
Oh.
tragedy. How much did his kids commit suicide? What happened to his
They
wife?
both overdosed. They both
Two wives
overdosed.
committed suicide. Sons who were OD'd on heroin, shot for breaking in drugstores, committed suicide. This guy's life is a fucking Greek tragedy, man. You would not
Yeah,
believe.
an
Oh,
absolute tragedy.
make you
Wasn't
cry.
wasn't just.
How the fuck did this guy stand it? How
Yeah.
did he stay strong?
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't just made out of granite in the ring. He was made out of granite out of the ring.
Yeah, you can just Wikipedia the shit that he went through, and you'll go, "What the fuck? Whoa, whoa, whoa!"
Like, yeah,
Like him. I put him and Oliver McCall up for the best chins.
yeah. What were they? Both of those guys. What the hell were they made of? You know, not flesh and blood like the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Because Foreman didn't floor him; he stopped him on his feet.
Yeah, no, Chevalo was never off of his feet.
Yeah, actually, Chevalo was mad that they called a fight. I think he still wanted to fight.
Yeah, he protested. He protested.
Yeah, that was a tough man. A tough dude. Very tough. Had to be, man. Had to be. You know what I mean? Wow.
Oh,
Hey, Biggs, I'm going to bounce, bro. I just wanted to get on here and just pay me respects to Big George and shout out to you for letting me on, man.
Appreciate your contributions, man.
Thank you. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen in a few more hours in Aussie, bro?
That I don't know.
I'm hoping Jake Wiley for the upset. 10-1 underdog. I got $100 on him.
I never heard of
this kid's a knockout artist. He's never fought anyone on a world level, Bruce. But George isn't world level. I don't think George is of that level. I've got my money on this underdog. I love an underdog story. Let's go, Jake Wiley, man. Hey, thanks for having me, Beats.
No problem, man. No problem.
Take care, fellas. Rest in peace, Big George.
Peace, Carl.
Peace, fellas.
I'm gonna
have a good one, Jam.
I was thinking actually that Jake Wiley could beat George Cameron. I've never even seen Jake Wiley, but I've never been convinced by Kambosos. He's a decent fighter.
Kind of made his name off the Teofimo win, didn't he?
Well, he's made his name more off of losses, but he's showed that he's had heart, which has made him respectable. He hasn't really ducked anybody, so people like him, you know?
And he's got a fan base in Australia, too. That's, you know what I mean? They still like him even when, even though he's lost.
Right. But he's managed to parlay even his losses into something where he's getting fights.
Yeah, good for him, man. Good for him.
I gotta hand him his flopper.
Has he fought since he took that battering against Lomachenko?
I think this is his first fight since then. I think
that's what I'm saying, man. Like I think that Jake Wiley is a good bet because he looked finished. Like Lomachenko cleaned him up. Was cleaning him up proper. He looked finished.
Yeah. Could be.
Finished.
Could be. Very well.
I think Lomachenko might have softened him up, but we'll see. We'll see because maybe that experience will just manifest itself too much for Jake. But and then you got what's her name? Tiara Brown.
Sky Nicholson.
Tiara Brown, WBC featherweight title.
I think Sky Nicholson is going to beat her, but Tiara Brown's doing a lot of talking, man.
A lot of talking, very aggressive.
Almost a little too much talking. I don't know if she's fast enough to, get a decision against Nicholson.
Got to pin her down, huh? That's the thing. Got to be able to pin her down.
Because you got to pin her down and put pressure on her. It's the only way you're going to, if you allow her to stay on the outside and move, it's going to be a long night.
Yeah, because Sky got them legs in it, like.
Yep.
Got them legs. And she's not gonna just sit down and trade because Tiara tells her to. She's gonna use what her strengths are to her advantage. Of course, I mean.
Yeah.
I think if she tries to, especially early, if she trades with Tiara, then she'll be like playing into her hands. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I just think Tiara's not fast enough. I mean, she's not a bad boxer, but I don't think she's fast enough to keep up with her like that.
Well, I think that also might be part of Kiara's thinking with all the trash talk, trying to goad her. You know what I mean? Into maybe more, more of a dog fight if you get me.
Right. Well, Tiara was talking shit about her back when she had like maybe, 6 fights? She was trashing her then. She's been on her for a long time.
Yeah, she
And
finally got what she wanted now. Let's see if she can, you know what I mean, do something. Sometimes it's, what do they say, careful what you wish for.
I mean, it almost seemed like Tiara was a little jealous almost of her or something, And I remember I actually told Tiara on Twitter. I told her, I said, "Why are you going after a gal who's got only 6 fights?" I said, "Shouldn't you be trying to like go after a title?"
Yeah.
I don't think she liked what I said to her, but I wasn't mean or like talking shit. I just was asking her a legit question. I mean, I don't know, if I was in her shoes, I would have been trying to go after a title, But that's just me.
Yeah, well, not too long to go, so we'll see how that one plays out. Should be good. Trust the Australians to have a card 8 o'clock in the morning. In
Say what?
8 a.m. UK time for you guys. What time will it be?
I'm on West Coast, California, Pacific Standard Time. So what time
2
would
o'clock,
that be?
2 a.m. for you guys, won't it? What's up?
Oh damn, no, I can't get up at that time. I'll be
God,
dead
more like
asleep.
that's at 2 a.m. That's more like a try and stay up deal than you get up at 2 a.m. At least for me.
How much hours are you behind us guys?
I'd have to look. I don't know it off the top of my head.
Yeah, I don't know it either, man. But
Well, okay.
I
Well,
do know,
what time is it where you're at right now, Beats? It's 8 p.m. where I'm at.
yeah, it's 8:07 right now here.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's 3 a.m. 7 minutes past 3 a.m.
Okay, so it's let's see. So 7 hours. 8 to 12 was 4 plus 3 was 7 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, there was 7 hours behind.
Man.
Yeah, that can make a big difference with the. Wait, you got a thunderstorm in the background there, country? What is that?
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me mute my mic. I'm sorry.
Time zones, man. It's crazy, isn't it? Like we're on different time zones.
Yep. Even within America, it can make a big difference. Like depending on the time it comes on. Like if you're on the East Coast, you're going to be fighting sleep by the time the main event comes on. It could be midnight, whereas over here it'll be like 9 p.m., which is
Yeah, Julius often complains about that one.
Yeah, he's on the East Coast, so I understand where he's coming from. He's fighting sleep, you know what I mean, and all that when he's watching a lot of these main events.
Right. I mean, I don't blame him for it, but I mean, it kind of cracks me up because he gets so mad, But I understand why.
Yeah, if you're staying up that late, you know what I mean. it can be taxing. But yeah, man, Foreman, man, that's
yeah,
whew.
yeah, man. Yeah. R.I.P. George, man. R.I.P. George. Peace.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. I think we're gonna.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me on, Beats.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
problem.
Thank you for having me on too. I appreciate you, man. And rest in peace, Big George.
Rest in peace, Big George.
Peace.
Hey, you guys have a good night, man. I'm on my way to go get a late dinner.
Peace all. Take care, Beats.
Peace.
Good night, fellas.
All right, people. You know what I mean? Here's what it is. R.I.P. Big George. Rest in peace. 2-time heavyweight champion.